Are you working remotely and struggling because you feel alone and isolated during the day? If that's you, you're certainly not alone. And in this video, we're going to talk about if that means you should jump ship and find a new employer where you're around people all day, or if you should suck it up where you are. And if so, what are some ways to make it a little bit better for yourself?
Okay, let's do it.
Yeah. So I'm Rebecca.
I'm Sophie. And between us, we have over 15 years of experience coaching. And I'm so excited to talk about this with you today. I can also relate to it, so maybe you'll help me.
Lots of people, especially since the COVID-19 pandemic, are working more from home. Some people love it. Some people hate it. Some people are neutral. Most people I talk to want to have a hybrid work setup where they have that combination of working from home and going in, but not everyone's lucky to have that. Some people are working full-time from home, and while some might thrive, there are other people who really, really dislike it. Sophie, I know you and I, as self-employed people, we work from home full-time, both of us.
I know, yeah.
So what's your experience, maybe the pros and cons?
Pros. So I love making my own schedule. I never have to sneak out of anywhere if I need to go to an appointment, or I just do what I want to do when I want to do it. There's cons to that later, maybe. Working from home, I have all the home comforts. I remember like in the 90s or something, there was this trope of like, oh, if I could get the corner office with your own bathroom, then I know I've made it. But now I feel like I have my own kitchen, I have my own bathroom, I have like the best office. I made it. So I love all of these things. Also, I get to see my cat and, well, my partner, but whatever, my cat. So amazing. But some of the cons would be that, well, I'm pretty much like over always being home. I would also say the collaboration. So I think I would really love to go somewhere, arrive somewhere, and then be able to collaborate on ideas and projects versus I kind of go 10 feet away from my bed to the room next door.
Yeah, so for most people, there's the pros and there's the cons. And it's harder for some people than others. And you might really find that you struggle with working from home if you are more extroverted, if that collaboration piece is a non-negotiable for you and how you feel about your work. I know for you, you do find little ways to collaborate here and there, but you're mostly okay working independently.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. And I'm actually thinking about becoming part of a co-working space.
Well, and that's kind of getting into where I want to go next, which is the strategies for if you are struggling with working from home by yourself day after day, feeling really lonely and isolated. I've had clients come to me wondering, should I just quit and find another job? Or, how do I learn to manage this? So what I want to offer is do your best to manage it. And we're going to talk about some of those strategies for maybe making it better to work from home and helping you thrive a bit more. And if you try these things and you're still really struggling with it, then it might be time to jump ship and find another job. So let's talk about some of those strategies. I know you mentioned working in a co-working space. I've had clients negotiate with their employer to have them pay for partial costs of a co-working space to get out of the house. And I have some more strategies, but I want to ask you first if you have any other strategies for people struggling working at home alone.
So there's the work aspect. Yes, getting into a co-working space can be really wonderful. There's also your own co-working. You might be able to shimmy up with a friend that can get on the same page as not talking. So you could figure out something like that. So there's less cost too.
I like that idea. I actually co-work sometimes with another business friend, and we just get together and don't talk and work. Yeah.
If you're a fellow ADHDer, it's called body doubling, and it's incredible, probably for everybody, but I just love the energy of someone being productive. It's like I absorb it through osmosis, so that can be really helpful. And then I've also made my life more fuller in times where I felt maybe more lonely, or I wanted to collaborate at work and it just wasn't happening or possible to the extent I wanted. I've been able to create more community in my hobbies. And I mean, there's also some nice benefits to that, as I've gotten a lot better shape. Getting lonely at work.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah,
Yeah.
so that's another strategy that a lot of people find helpful, is being more intentional about being social outside of work, and making sure that you get outside of the house. Another big reason people will struggle, and maybe this is you struggling with remote work, is a lack of structure. So setting up some structure throughout your day, having a plan, scheduling in breaks, getting in time for exercise, all of that can really help. However, that being said, I did have a client come to me recently who was doing all of these extra right things, structuring her day, exercising, and getting outside and having social life outside of work, and still just really struggling with the isolation. And so we talked about ways to virtually build more connections at work. And do you have any experience with that in your clients?
Yes, so I can remember something that happened a little bit around COVID times, where one of my clients reached out to coworkers that she wanted to connect with. Maybe it was for mentorship reasons or just building that network that's so important in our career. And so she was able to invite them to a virtual coffee date. I mean, we were doing a lot of this during that time, so it was also more normalized, and I think it has been normalized since, where we just have like 15 extra minutes before or after a meeting, or you just plug it into some part of your day that's mutually not busy, and you just chat. And I've also had clients tell me that their manager helped a type of Zoom meeting where they just went around having like 15-minute or even sometimes 5-minute conversations with everyone to make sure that the rapport is being built. Because if you just go straight to business all the time and that rapport is not being built because you're not in the office, it's not going to really leave you with a good feeling.
Absolutely. What I heard with what you just said is being a lot more intentional with setting up social time. And this is one of the things with virtual work, is it doesn't happen naturally and organically like we might be used to in terms of building connections, building rapport, networking, friendships. So setting aside intentional time is another great strategy. Yeah, arranging in-person meetups outside of work if you work in the same city as your coworkers would be another one. And then also attending industry events. There might still be in-person stuff happening in your industry or things related to your work that you could, build relationships and friendships. So these are just some of the strategies you can try to improve your situation. And you can start with trying these strategies, like we were saying, and then tune into how you feel. If it's impacting your mental health so much, like this one client I mentioned earlier, her anxiety every day was so overwhelming, she could hardly work, right? So in that situation, don't be afraid to admit that you really do need to make a change. This is something that some people need to make a change because of, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You might be one of those people.
It's okay. That's just you.
It's not for everyone working from home. A lot of people struggle with it in today's work climate.
100%. And there could be other factors at play. Maybe you can't work at home because you have a child of a younger age especially, and you can't get anything done, or it's not going to work for even a short period of time. For any reason that you need to not make remote work your default is an okay reason.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thanks so much for watching. We hope this gave you some clarity on how you can make remote work for you, or maybe you can't.
Yeah.
And if you liked this video or know someone that might enjoy it themselves, please like and share. See you next time.